My next guest has been ranked one of the best active lightweight boxers on the planet with a record of 23-1, 19 knockouts, by the way. On December 2nd, he'll take on Oscar Duarte on sports streaming service DAZN at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show the one and only Ryan Garcia. What's up, big time? How are you, man? How's everything?
Hey, what's up? How you doing? I hope you're good. Thank you for having me on.
My pleasure, my pleasure. I've been waiting to talk to you for a long time. First of all, how are you feeling? How are things going in your life right now? First things first.
Yeah, things are going great. I'm healthy. Family's healthy. Everybody's doing okay. So that's the good thing. We're all okay here.
Why is this guy right here, Oscar Duarte, getting the opportunity to fight you? There's so many great lightweights out there, the Devin Haney's of the world, Gervonta Davis is still there, obviously Shakur Stevenson and various others. Why is this guy, even though the guy's pretty damn good, his record is definitely good, why is he getting this opportunity to fight Ryan Garcia?
It's my first fight at 140. My main goal is to become a champion. So my coach felt this was the first step to get that title. To build myself at 140, and yeah, this was the first step. So I just trust my coach and what he decided, and he decided that a first go around would be Oscar Duarte.
How difficult has these last few months been for you since your loss to Gervonta Davis? I mean, you were 2-15-15 as an amateur. You were undefeated as a pro. Losing is not something that you know much about. What has it been like for you on a personal level, particularly psychologically, since that loss?
It's been a renewal. It's been a renewal of the mind. For a long time, I was lost. I didn't know, I lost myself since 2020, and I haven't been this sharp since 2020. So it was really a blessing in disguise. That Gervonta fight definitely was tough, but it wasn't me. So it wasn't that tough for me. I felt like I didn't lose. The best version of me didn't lose. That version of me is long gone, and I needed that. I needed that type of rival, that type of fire. And now, like I said, I'm the sharpest and most committed I've been since 2020.
When you say you lost yourself since 2020, what do you mean? I've spoken to you on several occasions since 2020. You were undefeated. You were knocking cats out. You looked very, very sharp in the ring. Outside of the ring, the way you dressed, the way you talked, the way you carried yourself, you looked the part, and then you'd handle your business in the ring. When you say you lost yourself since 2020, what are you talking about? Because I don't think anybody publicly saw anything like that.
Well, internally, especially after 2021, I took my mental health break after defeating Luke Campbell. I took a lot of steps back. That time off, I got into a lot of bad habits, fell into depression, and it was hard to find myself back to that high-level athlete that you need to be in order to compete at the highest level and that type of focus that you need. So, it was hard for me. It was hard for me to find it, and I didn't really get there. Again, there was a lot of stops and trials that I had to get through just to get to the Gervonta fight. So again, those things really disrupted my spirit and my mental fortitude, and it caused me just to not be at my top self that you need to be as a professional athlete. So that's what I mean when I didn't really have myself and that type of focus that I had, on that grind coming up, trying to be the best I could possibly be. But that's long gone. The person I am now is not the person you've seen fight in April against Gervonta.
But you've always been a really, really good dude, and you've always been somebody that wasn't just about yourself, but you were about helping other people. I've known this since the numerous conversations that I've had with you. So let's stay here for a second when we bring up the issue of depression. How did you know you were depressed? What were the signs that let you know that you were depressed? What kind of counsel can you give to those who might be suffering from it, might not even know it, or might not want to embrace it? What do you say to those folks out there?
It was a clear sign for me that I was depressed when I lost the love for everything. I didn't really have motivation or any drive to really take any steps forward. I had lost hope. I had lost hope in my faith. I lost hope in myself. And I just didn't care. And that was the clear sign for me. And, for me, it's, that revival and that comeback started when, I just decided that I can't do it on my own. I can't will myself out of it. It was something that I had to figure out how to be educated on. I started off with counseling, And from there, kind of just built from that. Obviously, my faith in God has helped me through a lot of things, and that's who I lean on the most. But again, I took every step that you can. I seeked counsel from many peers and many people, and I just decided, um, to accept the help and not try to, will myself out like I would normally in anything else. So, if you're feeling that way in depression, I just pray that you reach out to somebody you love, and you really talk about it, and you really focus on your mental health, and really take that serious, because it could turn into a problem, and it could get you into a lot of bad habits, which I did, and I don't want that to happen to anybody else. I want them to keep thriving and being the best version of themselves. So if you are going through that, I want you to seek some people to help you.
What bad habits?
Drinking, doing whatever I want, partying, just trying to distract myself from the pain I felt. I didn't know how to escape it, and I couldn't find any comfort anywhere. So I just did whatever I wanted to do, and I was young. I could do whatever I want. I had money and whatnot, and I just did whatever I want. I was trying to fill this void in me that I couldn't feel anywhere else. So, it was hard. It was very hard for me. But again, with the peers and my family and everybody around me, they helped me get through it.
Did a depressed version of Ryan Garcia, is that what walked into the ring with Gervonta Davis?
You know what? A defeated Ryan Garcia mentally walked into that ring. A one that was deprived of his body, was deprived of his physical strength, and ultimately not the best version of Ryan Garcia, was definitely not in that ring come April. I dare Gervonta to fight me at the right weight and in a healthy aspect, and I would love to do it again. I'm not saying that to do it right now, but I'm saying let me show everybody how I'm coming at 140. Let me show this new version. Let me prove to everybody that first go around wasn't the best version of me. That's what I'm saying. Gervonta Davis, let's let him have his shine right now. He deserves it. He was on point that night. So for me, I just know at my best version, he can't beat me. But I have a lot to prove since that loss. So I'm ready to do that.
Now, you're fighting at 140 now. You fought Gervonta Davis at 136. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. And you walked into that fight, and I remember you talking thereafter about how much weaker you are. I'm not really here to talk about Gervonta Davis with you. That loss happened. The one thing that I will say is this. As a boxing fan, as somebody who is a fan of yours, I watched you. I found myself disappointed in your performance that night, only from the standpoint, like you were coming at him, and I'm saying, wait a minute, this cat is lightning quick. He's the shorter, stockier fighter. He fights naturally. He doesn't feel drained at that 135, 136-pound weight. Let the dude stalk you, counterpunch, use your quickness, your jab, your speed, and none of that seemed to be there that night. It was like you were coming to him and walking into ultimately getting caught by that liver shot that got you. Is my breakdown of that accurate in your estimation?
Oh, yeah, I would say that it's pretty accurate. My mindset wasn't that, though. My mindset wasn't to win the fight. I was so I just wanted to knock him out, because at that state, I just knew that I wouldn't be able to last 12 rounds. I did go into the ring with a separated rib, and I went into the ring with depletion. But again, I had a mindset where if I catch him, I'm going to go after him. And obviously that was my downfall. But you're spot on that. I should have boxed him. I should have been more, I should have took it as a fight, as a boxing match. I took it as like, I'm going to go try to knock this dude out. And that was my downfall. So you're spot on of that. It was weird. I felt like, with the mole in my camp, who can I trust? I mean, I didn't know who I could trust. There's only 3 people in the gym when certain things happen. And it was hard for me to trust my team. It was hard for me to trust anything at that point. I didn't know what to believe. I didn't know who to listen to. But yeah, you're spot on that.
In the aftermath of the fight, one of the things you mentioned was your team, and you talked about, I remember reading about the word betrayal. I remember reading that you felt like nobody was there for you when you had lost the fight from your camp, that Gervonta Davis's camp seemed to care more about you than the people that you had employed that was working in your camp. As we sit here today and you reflect on all that you've been through, the depression, the therapy, and everything else, do you still feel that way, or are you of the mindset that it was more about you and how you were feeling as opposed to what your team may have done or may not have done to you or for you?
Oh no, they definitely did it to me.
Okay.
I was, I had the benefit of hanging out with Floyd, and Floyd mentioned to me how he got that information. So that's not a secret anymore. I know what went down. So I did get betrayed. That's not even a myth. And yeah, I felt hurt, and I feel I still feel like there's a lack of belief on the promotion side, and by the comments they're making and continue to make, and what can I do now though? I can't do anything. I just know I could box my ass off, and I'm gonna do that. But it sucks boxing your ass off for a team that don't really believe in you, but they'll collect that check, they'll collect the money I make them.
Right.
But they won't believe in me though. They don't have to believe, but they'll dang right collect all that money I make for them, which is very disappointing.
Right.
But in life, the cards are dealt, and you got to play.
Hey, Ryan, I would challenge you on that. When you talk about them not believing in you, what I would say is this. Part of that betrayal, if I remember what I read, was them, people in your camp, leaking information to the opposition going into the fight about what you were doing in camp to prepare for the fight, et cetera, et cetera. Well, guess what? If they did that, they must have felt it was necessary in order for the opposition to get the victory, because if they weren't worried about you winning that fight, they wouldn't have had it. They would not have had a need to leak anything, because what concern would there have been? What about that thinking?
You could think of a lot of things. At the end of the day, somebody had to somebody had to show disloyalty. Somebody had to decide to take whatever money they gave them for that information, and that's somebody had to accept it. And that's just what it is. I can't keep going back to it too much, but right. I know that happened, and it is what it is.
I got to tell you this, man. I still believe you're one of the best in the world. I don't care what anybody says. Listen, anybody gets caught with a liver shot, anything could happen with that. I get that part. But what I'm saying is you got one loss on your resume as a professional fighter. Losing to Gervonta Davis is no shame, for crying out loud. You can come back. You can avenge that. You can fight against other elite fighters. And obviously, you got a long, healthy career ahead of you, assuming you handle your business. So this guy, Oscar Duarte, tell me about this fight coming up against him December 2nd in Houston. What you think about him and what you need to be concerned about going up against this cat.
Oscar Duarte is a tough fighter. He's a come-forward fighter. He has a lot of knockouts, so this guy is going to be a threat in some aspects. But it's somebody that I've seen before, growing up in Southern California, fighting in LA and Coachella. I see a lot of pressure fighters. So it's not. I feel like my experience is going to take over, but it's not so much about Duarte. For me, it's about, this is how I'm making an example out of Duarte to the 140 division. And that's not disrespectful to him. I'm just saying that for me, this is going to set the tone. This is the Ryan Garcia you're going to get and continue to get. And this is who's coming. This is who's coming. He's not going to stop. There's not going to be no backpedaling. There's not going to be any let up. With my new trainer and all this new focus and commitment, this is the Ryan you're going to get. So I'm setting the tone for how I'm coming. That's what this fight is for me. That's what you're going to see December 2nd is the Ryan that's coming at the 140 division.
Who's your new trainer?
Derek James.
Okay.
Yes, he also trains Errol Spence Jr. And Frank Martin and some other guys.
Yeah, Frank Martin's no joke. I like Frank Martin. I thought that's a fight that you could. I still think that's a fight that you could have down the road, because I think Frank Martin is a pretty damn talented fighter. But I'll get back to you, because you talk about no backpedaling. I'm like Ryan Garcia. What's wrong with that? You got a long jab. You got lightning quickness. You got power in either hand. What's wrong with stepping back and catching the cat while he's trying to come up to you? That's my concern about you, Ryan Garcia. That's my concern.
No, I wasn't talking about like. I
Oh,
wasn't talking about the fight. I was talking about like after this,
okay.
I'm gonna stay locked in. I
Okay,
I
okay.
didn't mean like.
No, I was
Yeah.
saying, no, back up a little bit. Don't go to everybody. Let them come to you because they probably ain't gonna catch you. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
I'm a fan also. I gotta acknowledge this. I am a fan of Teofimo Lopez. You moved up to 140. That's the dude to me at 140. That's how I view the division outside of yourself. Do you have your sights set on him down the road, or is it just anybody that's standing in your way?
Oh, I'm hungry for that. I'm hungry for the best in the division. Like I said, my goal is to become a world champion at 140. However that road looks like, I'm gonna let my coach decide. My coach decided also Duarte, but yeah, I'm hungry. I want everybody. Ultimately, I want that rematch. Of course, that's still burning inside of me, and whoever I got to go through to get there, and then become a champion at 140. If we got to go through Teofimo Lopez, so be it. If we got to go through Devin Haney, so be it. I'm ready to take that road, and that's what's gonna happen. Me and my coach are gonna stay focused, stay locked in, and I'm gonna stay active because activity is my best friend.
What is the world going to see from Ryan Garcia in the boxing ring that they didn't see that night against Gervonta Davis? I'm talking purely boxing, style, everything. What are they going to see inside that squared circle that they didn't see that night?
You're going to see a beautiful jab. You're going to see beautiful shot selection. You're going to see so much control in the ring. You're going to see so much fluidity in the ring and so much control. You're going to see how beautiful the boxing is. I'm going to box my ass off and look so beautiful in that ring. You're going to be like, man, this Ryan is really on point. He has something right now that you can't buy this type of focus. This focus comes with determination and a whole lot of thinking. So you're going to see a beautiful boxer in that ring come December 7th.
When I think about you, man, I try to tell people, and I told you this when we talked, this is last year sometimes. I said, listen, as a boxer, you may not be thinking about it, but as a pundit, as a commentator, when we see it, it ain't just the skills inside the ring, it's your ability to sell the sport. You got the look, you carry yourself in a certain way, you're so articulate, and you can fight. I was thinking going into that fight against Gervonta Davis, oh my God, he wins this fight. He is the face of boxing because everybody's gonna clamor to him. And to me, it was comparable in terms of what I was envisioning anyway to Sugar Ray Leonard when he came into the game in the 80s and how all the advertisers and sponsors and just the world gravitated towards him. Has that kind of stuff been on your mind at all? Have you realized that potential that you have outside of the ring once you accomplish all the things you want to accomplish inside the ring?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty aware of where I stand in the sport and how I do have the ability to market myself, and it's one of the reasons why I changed the landscape of the game. I felt like I took boxing and the where boxing was at, I took it in my own hands, and I made sure that boxing caught some fire. It was born. It was born to me at least. And there needed to be a change, and there still needs to be a change in boxing. I feel like I have the blueprint, and I know how to maneuver in this generation and how to pioneer it and how to lead these fighters into getting the money they deserve and putting back power to the fighters.
Yeah.
Promoters are a little outdated in their thinking, and they need to just trust the young minds and come together and let go of their egos and figure something out.
I view you as one of the people that literally, if you accomplish what you're after, you have the power to circumvent the promoters who have been controlling the sport and really take this sport to another level, to a level where I believe it belongs. I'm very disgusted with promoters having taken over the sports because they repeatedly do not give us the fight that we want to see, which is why I support Jake Paul, not as a boxer because he doesn't get in the ring with boxers most of the time, which pisses me off. He needs to get in the ring with actual boxers, not strikers from MMA. That's just my position about it. But I like him and I like his intent. When you see somebody like that, even though he's not the boxer that you are, does it inspire you even more because you know what guys like that are trying to do for the sport of boxing in terms of empowering fighters?
I think that it's just more it's just more fuel to what I've been saying. How you could take your brand and you get the power. You're putting yourself in the driver's seat. And Jake Paul is a great example of it. He didn't box his whole life, but again, he's in the position to make big fights happen, and he's taking the sport serious, which I will give him credit for. I think that he, again, has the right blueprint on how to promote a fight, how to market himself, and he doesn't need a promoter. I'm not saying that you completely disregard every promoter in the world, but I think that they need to be more open.
So, Ron, with all of that being said, at this stage and point right now, I know what you're hoping for. I know you're incredibly confident. At 140, is that a weight you plan on staying at? Or are you of the mindset, I'm moving up? I'm watching a Terrence Crawford go against Errol Spence at 147. I'm seeing Boots Ennis waiting for a chance at Terrence Crawford. I'm hearing Charlo talking about moving down or having Crawford move up to 154. You're hearing all of this noise, and the money fights seem to be at 147, at least for the moment. Is your intent to stay at 140 and just build that division and own it, or you have different aspirations?
I feel like, where my mind and my heart is that I feel like anywhere between 140 and 147. Got it. I think that's where I'll be able to dominate. Again, they need me to make a big fight. So they're all going to have to see me sooner or later. And that's my mindset. I want to become a world champion at 140, though. That's my goal. And then everything else will take place when it takes place. But again, become a champion. I did what I wanted to do when I came into the sport, which was get everybody to know my name. I wanted to do a super mega fight and make the fight happen. I did that, but now I want to become a world champion. I want to solidify myself as a champion. I'm tired of these people saying you're not a champion. Man, anybody could be a champion if they really wanted to. Well, not anybody, right. But it's easy to maneuver their way. You know what I mean? In this day and age, at least. When I hear world champion, I think you fought the best guy, the one that holds the legitimate title. But again, I'm not going to get too much into that. But my whole goal right now is to become a world champion, legitimately beat a Teofimo Lopez, a Devin Haney, whoever is at 140, and then see where life goes from there.
If somebody said to you, championship at 140, another title at 147, or a rematch against Gervonta Davis, what do you want more?
Let me think about this one.
Yeah, take your time.
I think me becoming a 140 champion, 147 champion is what I want, and I think that I need that. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm hungry for right now, because that Gervonta fight is going to happen. Mm-hmm. That's going to happen. That will play its part when it plays its part. But for me, it's having some substance under me, because I've always been a champion since I was young. I was a national champ. I did make the USA team. I am a winner. I have been at the top. True. And I plan to do that. I plan to do that now again. So that's where my heart is at. That Gervonta fight, whenever, however. But first, let me build that up again, because I know people, they have that taste in their mouth, from that last fight. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm ready to wash that out, become a champion, and then let's run it back.
December 2nd, Toyota Center, Houston, Texas, Oscar Duarte versus the one and only Ryan Garcia. Ryan, let me say two things to you before I let you go. First of all, I'm rooting for you. You're one of the best things to happen in boxing. I've gotten to know you over the years. I'm always a fan of yours, and I want you to know, and I want all the boxers out there to know, listen, there's a lot of stuff, a lack of appreciation that folks out here have for elite boxers in the world today. I want you to know that this place, the Stephen A. Smith Show, is always a home for y'all. So I'm wishing you nothing but the best. Anytime you want to come through and rap to me about anything, feel free. The door is always open, my brother, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. You're a big inspiration throughout the years, man. Love watching you. You're a legend. You know that. And I'm blessed to be part of your show. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. All the best. Good luck. Handle your business December 2nd.